Hey everyone, it's Cecily, and today I'm going to be filming my 5K Q&A for you guys. I am so excited to finally say that I've reached my first milestone of 5K. So great to just like take it all in and be grateful for this very moment. So like I said, I'm just going to be answering some of your guys' questions. I asked you guys on Instagram what you've been wanting to know in regards of me living abroad in France, how I learned French. Although I do have multiple videos on this already on my channel, I will leave them linked down below. But today is just going to be a more updated version of all of those questions. If you guys didn't see the post on my story where I asked you to ask me some questions and you want to be part of it next time, make sure to follow me here on my social media accounts. I will also leave them all linked down below so you can just check them out. I think we can get straight on into it, so let's go. Guys, this has nothing to do with my Q&A, but I recently just got contact lenses. I did not realize how blind I was before I got them. I knew I needed a little bit of help, but like, I was wrong. I needed a lot of help. Like, I was out here on the streets of Paris like, wow, Paris is so beautiful, guys. And sometimes I would wear my glasses. Let me show you guys my glasses. These are them. I've had them for like 2 years now. My doctor told me my prescription wasn't too bad, so I always just assumed my vision was just slightly off. But trust me when I say this, those contacts, the ones that are in my very eyes as we speak, have changed my life. Like, I feel like the power is in my hands. Okay, enough about my eyes. I'm so excited to give you guys a little bit of insight on my life here in France. And yeah, just about life in general, honestly. So the very first question that I'm going to be answering is, what do you like about being abroad? For me personally, my life doesn't feel satisfying when I don't have kind of little like daily challenges every single day that I can overcome. And living abroad constantly and consistently gives me this experience of, oh, I need to learn this, or oh, this is how they do this here. You learn on a daily basis. I go to the store, I learn a new word for a food product that I would have never known. But this is the beauty of, like, the small things is what gives me like the satisfaction. It's gonna kind of give me encouragement to continue growing or learning or just discovering new things. My friend sent me this question. He said, how do you deal with so much success? That just makes me laugh. Thank you, Kartik, for this question. I appreciate that you see me as a successful woman, but I just feel like I'm doing what I love to do, and I'm doing what, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but like what my heart is telling me to do. I feel happy to do the things that I do every single day. It doesn't mean that I don't have like hard times or like obstacles that come in my way. I just in general feel really good about the energy I put out into the world and the things that I'm consuming, that I decide to consume, whether that be the books I read, the shows I watch, the people I let into my life. I know this question was supposed to be funny, but I give you a pretty serious answer. There you go. Third question, how do you cope with the feelings of loneliness and isolation that come along with moving? I know a lot of people can get really homesick. I would say if you are somebody who tends to get homesick but you don't want to let that stop you from going to live that life abroad or having new adventures, just make sure you have kind of like a system that works for you so that you know what to do when you start feeling these feelings of isolation. Make sure you have times where you can like reconnect and call your family back home. Of course, time zones can be a little bit tricky, so you kind of always have to plan that in advance. In regards to like actually making friends in the new place that you have decided to move to, I would say that you need to definitely make sure that you try your best to put yourself out there and leave your comfort zone to make new connections, that you also need to put in the work to create the life that you want to have, whether that be going on new groups on Facebook and having little meetups, speaking to new people in your language classes. Question number 4, do you see yourself living in France for long term? I would say probably not. I just feel like there's so much to see in this world. I have no intention, like literally zero intention, on waiting for my older years to be able to go see what I want to go see in this amazing and incredible earth that we live on. As much as I have loved being able to see the different parts of France and experience the culture and learn the language, I feel like I've really gotten to the point where I feel quite satisfied with the level of French that I have, with the amount of culture and experiences that I've been able to see during my time here. So yeah, I'm ready and I'm pumped for my next adventure. What apps do you use to learn French? Other than my go-to app, Duolingo, I've actually been using another one called Ling. It is really incredible just because they have so many different features that Duolingo doesn't even have on their application yet. For example, right now I'm currently learning German and I am still in the beginner phases. You can have different chats with a robot, and you don't even only have the option to type, but you can also speak to the chat bot and they correct your pronunciation. I know a lot of people, including myself, have seen that Duolingo can be quite random with what they teach you. The other day I was learning how to say I am not a monkey, and it could just be really random, and I always question what context am I going to use this in. With Ling, you actually get phrases that you're going to use when you go to restaurants, conversation that you're going to be able to use when you meet new local native people in that country that you're trying to go to. I have become a partner with Ling, and if you guys want to get it today, I'm going to leave the link down below. One of my favorite features on Ling is that you can see the percentage of fluency that you actually have in this language that you're learning. So I just started learning German and my percentage is quite low because, like I said, just started. You have the new vocab that you get with each unit. You can hear the words in normal speed,
eine Frau,
or you can also hear it in slow,
eine Frau,
so you can really get the pronunciation in. Once you actually feel comfortable with the vocabulary, you have the option to do an oral exam or a written exam. It's just definitely a much more put together way to actually learn a language. What is your current occupation in France? Since September 2020, I have been working in a bilingual English school, so it's French children trying to learn English, and I am a teacher there, and it has been really good so far. I love the opportunities that it has given me. Somebody asked me, what would you say the best way to practice French is when living in Paris? So I would say, as mentioned before, try to really get out of your comfort zone and speak French whenever you can, whether that be to the lady in the boulangerie, the lady in the coffee shop. Throw in those new phrases you learned through that Netflix series. Throw in those new words that you learned from that new song, okay? Like, just pop in those new French vocabulary words you just learned. Do not be afraid. And yeah, maybe they won't understand you, and maybe you'll pronounce the word wrong, but it's okay, because it's not always going to be like that. Practice makes perfect. Somebody asked me, how do you stay motivated when learning French? I think the hardest part of learning a language is actually starting to be like consistent with it, because obviously if you're not used to practicing and doing something on a daily basis, which is required if you want to learn a language fluently, you have to really sacrifice a certain amount of minutes or maybe even an hour a day to get consistent with it. And I would say maybe after like 2 weeks of you logging onto Duolingo every day or deciding to read at least one page of your French book, once you get used to that, after like 2 weeks, it's gonna become a habit. Like, you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta do my French today. I think if you can get through the first couple weeks of staying consistent with it, you can do anything, girl or boy. I don't know who you are, but I'm rooting for you, okay? You got this. You got this. Next question is, would you ever meet a subscriber? I have actually already met a few subscribers. Funny story, as I said before, I work at an English bilingual school, and actually one of the interns that recently just started working for the company actually recognized me, and I found that so insane. Like, she was helping my class. She was basically assisting my class to help teach the children. And at the end of the 3-hour learning session or teaching session, whatever you want to call it, she like asked me, do you have a YouTube channel? She couldn't like see my face that well because we had our mask on, of course, but I was so shocked. And shout out to Tara if she's watching this right now. reach out to me, go to my socials, go on Instagram. I will try my hardest to respond to all of your guys' messages. All right, I got a couple of questions on how safe I feel living in Paris. So one of them was, do you ever feel unsafe as a foreigner in Paris, or have you ever had a scary situation, and how safe is Paris? So actually, that's a really interesting question, because I live in one of the neighborhoods that is deemed as more unsafe, I guess you could say, even though I don't really feel that unsafe here, because personally me, I've been living here for 2 years and I know which streets and areas to stay away from, especially when it gets darker out at night. But I could definitely see being a tourist or someone who doesn't know the area too well kind of accidentally wandering off into some spaces that are not so safe. That definitely happened to me when I first started living here, and I quickly got to know the area, the streets that I probably shouldn't head off to if I'm on my lonesome. I think if you basically use common sense and you're street smart, you should be okay. I would probably say the most dangerous thing is getting pickpocketed. Basically, those are all the questions I'm going to be answering today. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the very end. I'm going to be seeing you guys in the very next video. I have missed sitting in front of the camera and just talking to you guys like this, and I love interacting with you guys, whether that be answering your guys' questions, talking to you through DMs, making this content for you guys, honestly. And if you guys have any ideas of what you would like me to do for next week's video, do not forget to leave that down below. Also, do not forget to click that subscribe button if you guys want more tips, and just to stick around to see where my next adventures will take me. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you so soon. Mwah! Bisous!